Hey guys, I hope you're enjoying week two of the Life Challenge. I mentioned my email earlier that a lot of times during week two, people might feel a certain lull in energy. I described it a little bit in the email, but a lot of toxins are released as you start to dive into your body fat, a lot of toxins from the food we eat, and oftentimes that second week can bring a lot of discomfort, certain maybe malaise feeling you might get. Usually it's like the week and a half mark. I remember talking to a couple of you guys at the end of the last week, and you were starting to feel that a little bit. So make sure that you're drinking plenty of water. We haven't really touched on this before, but if you guys are sweating a lot throughout the day, make sure you're putting a pinch of sea salt in your water just to make sure you have enough electrolytes in your system. Obviously, make sure that you guys are eating clean. If you're sticking to the diet, that's going to help a lot with that as well. A couple of things outside of that. This weekend, we have a breath work, and we're going to do a little book discussion afterwards if you guys can make it. We're going to do the breath work at around 8 o'clock, and usually that takes anywhere from 30 to 40 minutes. We'll do a little stretching before. It won't be just solely breath work, but I'll take you guys through that, and then we'll have a little book discussion afterwards. Hopefully you guys have gotten through at least a quarter of it or so. Even if you haven't, that's fine. Still come in, and we can still discuss it. So that'll be the second challenge of this week, is to come in for that breath work and book discussion. And I'll come up with an alternative for you guys who maybe can't make it on Sunday. It'll be Sunday at 8, maybe doing like a one-page report or something on what you find to be interesting about the book as a way to satisfy that challenge. For the first challenge of this week, though, I'm going to send you guys a little fasting video that's going to discuss some of the benefits of doing long-term fast. I've been fasting since I started the gym, and I find it to be incredibly beneficial and another tool for the toolbox. The same way that meditation is a tool or breathwork is a tool, fasting is an excellent tool, especially considering I think what the goal is for a lot of people at the gym is to look better. Outside of the look better factor, there's a ton of benefits to the system, both mentally, physically, and this, like any tool, there's different variations of this. Some people choose to do intermittent fasting, which is limiting your feeding window to about anywhere from 12 hours a day down to 8, down to 4. Some people only eat one meal a day, and elongating the amount of time that you're not eating. A lot of times people choose 16 and 8 as an easy way to do it. So you would fast for 16 hours and eat for only 8 hours of that day. That's a really good tool for those of you who don't have a problem eating enough food, but maybe want to lose a little bit of extra weight and give your body a little break from digestion. So an easy way to do that is to only eat from 12 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 o'clock in the evening. I think that's an excellent tool. You can do it every day, or you can do it intermittently, but that's what I started out doing for fasting. And then eventually I moved to some longer duration fast. There are some benefits to doing longer term fasts that are really good at dealing with cancer cells. It's really good at dealing with systematic inflammation as well. If you're a person that already has a hard time eating, intermittent fasting can make it even worse because you're limited to that 8-hour window. So intermittent fasting can throw an extra wrench in that if you're someone who doesn't eat very well. But longer duration fasts are just that, right? They're anywhere from 24 to, you'll see in the video, she talks about people who are obesely or morbidly obese going 100 days without eating. And obviously that's with the care and safety of a doctor watching over you, but I think it's perfectly safe to go through a 24-hour fast based around most health conditions. If you do have something that's troubling, it may be beneficial to consult a doctor. We're going to do this on next Wednesday. There's no pressure. If you guys really do not want to do it, that's totally up to you. Like I mentioned in our seminar video, it's going to be 24 hours, but technically you'll still be able to eat each day, right? So if you eat at like 6 o'clock on Wednesday night, you would not be allowed to eat until 6 o'clock the following day. So you get to eat each day, you're just skipping the meals in between. So it's a kind of a good way to test yourself and kind of give yourself an opportunity to challenge yourself without going too far. It really is your hunger desire. It really is just an emotional desire, a signal from your brain. And as you change your relationship with your hunger, you learn how to dampen that down, and going for 24, 48, 72 hours becomes not a big deal, or less of a deal. And if you guys are interested in doing a longer duration outside of 24 hours, like you're considering doing a 48 or a 72, or maybe even longer, please let me know, because there are some exercise regimens that will really help you do it much easier than just trying to go into it on your own. So please let me know if that's something that interests you. For your information, I do these about 4 times a year. I try and do them once a quarter, and I'll typically go for 84 hours, 86 hours is usually kind of right in the range that I like to hit. And I've seen a lot of benefits for myself. I was mentioning to Chris earlier that he's got a bum ankle, and I was telling him that one of the things I noticed was I rolled my ankle a ton when I was in college, and I had a lot of scar tissue on that right ankle. And it was almost built up to like a half golf ball size on the outside of my ankle. And one thing I noticed from doing fasting, and one of the benefits of fasting, is that there's a cleaning out of dead and mutated cells in your system. In the absence of food, your body looks internally, and anything that is not cutting it will get chewed up and thrown back into your metabolism. So scar tissue is something that is really not helping the body in any way, and it allows for the body to go through and clean that up. You'll hear this doctor talk in this discussion about cleaning up a lot of metabolic issues, a lot of chronic diseases as well. You will hear about your gut microbiome also replenishing itself. There's just a ton of health benefits to fasting, and I really suggest that you at least read more about it. If it's something that you're maybe a little bit turned off by, definitely read more about it. I think it's something that our ancestors did involuntarily a lot of times, but I think it's part of a lot of religion and spirituality as well. And I'll tell you that for sure, that when you go through 3 days of fasting and there's no food being digested in your system, you feel all the energy. You can feel your pulse through your entire body. It's really a beautiful process to go through, and something that I think should be really considered, especially if your goal is ultimately longevity. It's a really good way of cleaning out the system. It's kind of like taking your car to the garage for a checkup. It allows your body to, use its own intelligence to help you fix yourself. You guys can check out the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you've had experience fasting, I know Brian's done this with me a bunch. You can comment on there as well. If you are interested, maybe any concerns you might have, we'll try and answer that in the group me as well. And look forward to seeing you guys. Hopefully we'll see you on Sunday. And let me know if you guys have any questions. Cheers.